In today's video, we're gonna rank all the villains in Katekyo Hitman Reborn. Y'all been wanting to see some more Reborn content, and you know what I'm saying, I will provide y'all with that. So yeah, you know what I'm saying, definitely throw a like and subscribe for sure, because I had to actually create this myself. You know what I'm saying, I don't know why people hate on Reborn and why there's not stuff like this out on the tierlist.com or tier maker, but hey man, we don't get right into it. You know what I'm saying, so first we have Enma. So I guess the way I'm looking at it for this tier list is I'm looking at them as a villain and I'm looking at them as a character moving on. And I ain't gonna lie, to me Enma's easily like an A. Like if we're just looking at the Simone arc, one thing I think that they did really well was that they kind of compared them to the Von Gola family, and we got to see how similar they are to Suna in the game. And then we got to see how the differences was. So Enma was basically, if you take like Suna and you make Reborn kind of pushing Suna to do bad, because we saw that Adheed, we'll talk about her a little bit later, she was kind of the main person being like, yo Enma, you gotta do this. You know, obviously Enma, we know he had his own kind of goals. He wanted to get revenge on Suna and revenge on the Von Gola in general because what they did to him in his past. But I ain't gonna lie, like it was tough. I'm not gonna lie to you at all. It was very tough. So his backstory was amazing. I think the fact that Damon Spade was really fucking shit up, I can't lie. So that was really insane overall. But yeah, and then even afterwards, I like the contrast. Well, it's not really a contrast, more of a comparison at that point, where we have him and Suna, and they're like the no good duo, but then they become the hyper duo when they're locked in. Like that's tough. So for Enma, I'm definitely gonna put him at A, and obviously we might change this a little bit later. We'll see how I'm feeling about it towards the end of this towards the end of the video. So next up we have Fran. Unfortunately for me, at least unfortunately for Fran, I feel like she didn't really do much in this series. So like she was like a character that was kind of replacing Viper, Viper in the future arc, because all their Aqua Blade are dead. So she's kind of like the student of Mukuro, which is, it's a cool premise, I like it, but she ain't really do nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't even kind of, I don't even know if I can kind of put her as a villain. She didn't really do much, so we're gonna not spend too much time on her and just throw her in D. Adheed, and obviously, you know, you gotta understand that some of these characters are manga only, so if y'all think that they should be pronounced a different way, like let me know, you know what I'm saying? But don't go. Adheed, I ain't gonna lie, she was tough. Like, again, this is the Simone family, or I think this is probably the best compare and contrast that the Von Gola had in terms of like their character design, not character design, but character like motivation, just them as characters. It was a really nice like way to look at them. It's almost like how we as viewers could view the Von Gola in a slightly different way. And that she was like the brains of the operation for the Simone family. Like she was really running shit, I can't lie. Enma was the face, but it's like she is dead ass really doing the shit. I think Damon Spade's even gonna say in the manga, he literally straight up says like, yeah, my plan wouldn't have done nothing, it wouldn't have been on anything if Adheed wasn't in this joint. So yeah, that's tough. In terms of her, I mean, I do like the whole thing with her, and we don't see too much about no, I think we don't get too much of her backstory specifically, but it's all interesting overall. I do like that. I'd definitely give her some credit, you know what I'm saying? I think for sure she is she's a good character. And then I think afterwards, after the Simone arc, she kind of takes, it seems like a motherly kind of role, which I think I'd say overall she did have in general, so that was cool. Yeah, I give her a cool B. I don't think she's as good as Enma in terms of just like a character. I think that Enma's backstory was really good. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes with Enma. You know, he has I think it was cool because he had the personal disdain. I don't want to talk about Enma too much, but he had the personal disdain for Suna and the Von Gola, so like I'm gonna have to give him that plus up over her, I ain't gonna lie. Next up we have Belphegor. So he's one of the Varia members, you know what I'm saying? I think Belphegor is actually kind of fake decent, especially compared to the Varia. I feel like a lot of the Varia are kind of low fodder in terms of like, they're not that interesting, I think, honestly. But Belphegor is pretty interesting. I like his backstory, it's kind of cool. And I think the comparison between him, he's like the genius assassin, I think is what they call him Prince of the River, which is hard. I mean, we know what Prince of the River was really doing back in the day. Belphegor is like, he's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, in terms of like a genius kind of character. They compare that with Goku Dare, who's like, Goku Dare's a genius in his own right, but especially back then, early on, it's comparing like hard work versus, you know, talent, but talent is working hard type shit. So Belphegor, he's a cool C. He's probably one of the best Varia members, for sure. Bermuda, in my opinion, Bermuda is like a damn near S tier villain in Reborn. Just kind of looking at one, I think it was really cool that throughout the entire series we had all this stuff about Reborn and how he's the strongest hitman, and he's very much established to be the strongest Arcobaleno. And then they're like, F that, we got this new guy, and this guy's way better than, you know, the past or whatever. I think that was kind of cool. The fight with him and Suna was tough. him and basically I'm gonna throw the Vendice all on him. I'm not gonna lie, because the Vendice is probably one of the biggest secrets in Reborn. That was tough. I really liked how the Vendice turned out to be really, really important, and actually old Arcobaleno, who were essentially slaves to Bermuda. That's what it was. Like, if Reborn picked Bermuda's side, he would just essentially probably become well, either he'd become Bermuda, not Bermuda. He'd either become Vendice if he followed Checkerface's path, or he'd die with everyone else if he followed Bermuda's path. So that was tough. Yeah, nah, Bermuda was like that. I ain't gonna lie. He was an interesting character, even kind of giving us information about the past and stuff. I don't want to delve too much into him, but you know what I'm saying, Bermuda he's like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Bluebell, cool character. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know about her backstory. I think the manga went into it and the anime didn't. That's just what I think, because I don't remember ever hearing about it in the anime. But she cool. I'm saying she cool. I'm gonna give her a cool little D. We're not gonna spend too much time on some of these other characters because they're not really like that. Byakudan, I fake like Byakudan a lot. That's probably not a hot take, honestly, but Byakudan I think is a pretty interesting character, given like he's like one of the few characters that won. Like, if you look at the actual series, yeah, like it kind of got reversed in the future and stuff like that, but if you actually think about what happened, Byakudan dead ass beat the Arcobaleno, basically put it so Suna had to go in that, not hiding, but future Suna could not beat him. And obviously we know it's because of the Vongola rings, but that's still like that. And then him and Suna, it's like a weird duo. You're like, yo, this is not how it's supposed to be. Like, you don't expect this to happen, and then it does. So that's a kind of cool thing. But yeah, nah, I'm definitely putting him. I'm putting him like an A. I'll put him above. I'll put him below Enma. I'm not gonna lie. We got Chikusa. So he's a cool character. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, honestly, but yeah, I mean, he's a cool character. He's kind of like, honestly, I think as a villain, even as a character, he's just kind of there. Like, he's one of Mukuro's lackeys, and he's always been like that. But even in the arc he kind of premiered in, he just fights. I think he fights. I want to say he fights Goku Dare. I feel like that makes sense. Just one of those characters where it's like, okay, well, you know, Mukuro has to have a little gang or whatever, so we'll throw him in D as well. I think I like Bluebeard's backstory. Daisy. So honestly, the funeral wraths, I wish we got to see more of them. I feel like they were designed to kind of be like the Vongola. We obviously know it's like the Vongola, the KHR premise. They'll have the 6 people kind of just to mirror, or the 7 people to mirror the Vongola. That's one of the things that they do. But the funeral wraths were probably one of the probably some of the weakest ones. I can't lie to you. I'm gonna put bro in like D, because the funeral wraths, they're like, I get all their premises. They had like this life or whatever, and then something bad happened, and Byakuran basically saved them and gave them power. But it's like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just such a nothing thing to me, if that makes sense. Damon Spade, Damon Spade might be the best villain in Reborn. I think that's like, I don't know if that's a hot take to y'all, but he's up there. Like, bro, I mean, he's just tough. Like, so one, we kind of throughout the series, we kind of looking at Damon Spade, you're like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's clear that him and Gyouto had, let's just say, their differences, right? And then come to find out, it's like, damn, he's been playing this entire arc, essentially. Like, he is, besides the Vendice, he's been up there. Like, he's damn near the second oldest people, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the people controlling things, well, ignoring Checkerface, obviously. Yeah, Damon Spade is just running shit. Gyouto still pulled a fast one over him because they didn't kill the Simone family, didn't die. But still, he was like, okay, well, that's fine, because y'all dead and I'm not dead. And he was just running shit. And then the whole thing of being able to basically twisting it so that the Simone family would always hate the Vongola, and then specifically making it so Enma's parents got killed by what he assumes in what looked like Suna's father. That's tough. And then obviously, like, the whole thing with Elaine, I got to give bro his credit. Yeah, he was. It's that case of, you know, he wants the I mean, obviously we know with Elena, when she died, it was like, oh shit. She died because Gyouto was the Vongola were too weak, and he's like, yeah, she was the Vongola stand. She was the person that was telling Damon Spade, like, yo, join the Vongola. This is a fighting force I enjoy, blah blah blah. So when she died, he was like, well, she died because the Vongola were way too weak. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure I fix this personally. And Gyouto is way too soft-hearted to do it. So I'm gonna run shit behind the scenes, and that shit is tough. Damon Spade is up there. He's probably the best villain in Reborn, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? No spoilers or whatever. But then we have Genkishi. I actually do like Genkishi a lot as a villain. I feel like it sounds like I'm saying that a lot, but I like the dynamic that Genkishi had with one. He's one of the fake funeral wraths, and he definitely takes that shit to heart. It hurt the nigga's soul, but he's not one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of cool and funny. Yeah.
Obviously, we know that him and Uni had a whole thing. Basically, he completed any task that Byakugan had him or wanted him to do easily. Like he was like that. And then obviously Uni, he couldn't do it because of her face, or not her face, but her eyes. So him essentially basically crashing out over that is kind of wild. I think Ginkishi as a villain, as a like an auxiliary villain, did his job. Like he was one of them ones. He fought Future Bari, dropped him. I wouldn't say dropped him off, but it was very clear Future Bari knew he couldn't win that battle. He had to do it. He had to do basically a death match, and he still didn't win. Dropped off Yamamoto. Pretty sure dropped off Ryohei. Like he was just dropping niggas. I mean, he lost to Suna ultimately, but he was still like that for a time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely giving bro his credit. We'll definitely put him like a top of B. We'll do top of B. Yeah, I think his internal fight was very, very interesting. I mean, until he, you know, gave himself off to die, whatever. But all right, next we have Julie. You know what I'm saying? Julie, unfortunately, bro got completely shafted in his arc because Damon Spade was like, I'm gonna need that body. Like, pause, but I'm gonna need that. So all we kind of know about bro is that he liked Ed Heed, and like he was like a joyous person, but I'm not gonna spend too much time on bro. Unfortunately, you didn't even really talk for us, so you don't got shit to say. Then we got Leviathan or Levy, whatever you want to call him. I think Levy, it's also unfortunate too, because I think all of Lambo's villains, nothing against Lambo, but all of Lambo's villains have to kind of fight or be compared to a 5-year-old Lambo at least for a little bit, and that's gonna take away from their character, especially in fights and stuff. And Levy, I feel like Levy is like the lamest Vario member, low key. He just kind of, he's up there. A lot of the Vario kind of but he's just essentially like a fanboy of Xanxus, and it's like, okay, well, there's not much to bro. And yeah, he just being disrespected, so I can't even give him no credit. He's definitely D. Belphegor, in my opinion, is better. Then we have Ghost, and Ghost is literally, I like the premise of Ghost, like how he's, you know, they use the mirror ring effect, where the mirror ring can use, you know, different dimensions and stuff. And all we know, Byakugan got all the funeral wraths that way. Ghost didn't even talk to my knowledge, so he's even less than Julie. Speaking of another Lambo villain, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we have another Lambo villain here, which is Oyoma. And he's cool. I think. I mean, he wants to play with Lambo. I think it's kind of fine. I do think one thing I do enjoy that he did, and especially in this fight, because I think after this arc he kind of becomes way less interesting. He's just kind of playing with Lambo and stuff, you know. But the whole thing of him being like, oh yeah, I believe in Enma. Enma's the person I'll fight for, you know, to the end of the earth or whatever. And he's like, yeah, like Lambo, what do you think of Suna? And he's like, he's a terrible leader. Like, I don't think of him as a leader or boss. He's a great big brother though. That was really cool. I'll give him some points for that. That's like, I'll give you a little bit of points. Top of D. All right, now we have Jagger. Honestly, we just throw all the Vendice in there with Jagger. I'll throw him in the middle of D. Yeah, so we'll do that. So we have another character, another one of the Simone family, and that is Mizuno. So Mizuno, the Simone family unfortunately have like 2 members that basically get shafted completely, and Mizuno is one of the guys, because we don't even know, like, if we don't even know what your pride is, which I think it's Mizuno and Julie, who we never even learned their pride. In that arc where everyone's talking about their pride, you're not like that, unfortunately. Then we have Ken. You know what I'm saying? We'll put him right by his big bro, his little buddy. But I mean, Ken is cool. I just think that is not much that happened. Even him as a character, there's not much to him. All right, now we have Kikyo, the real son member of the, I don't even remember the actual name family, but the real son guardian of Byakugan's crew, essentially. He cool. I mean, again, I think a lot of the funeral wraths are kind of just whatever. Unfortunately, like they just don't have a lot going on. And I think that he even gets defeated or gets like absorbed essentially by Ghost, which is like, okay. I think he had a great life until something happened in this, I'm gonna say, like dimension, so to speak, and Byakugan essentially saved him. It's just like, okay, cool. You know, it's just not much to bro. So he got to go in. Like they all go in a D. I can't lie to you. So. All right, yeah, we'll leave that as that is. All right, now we have Alba, and Alba, honestly, in terms of the Simone family, he's up there. I like him pretty well compared to a lot of the other guys. I think one thing I do love, I've already talked about a little bit, but the fact that the Simone family and Von Golo are compared so nicely, and I think Reborn even goes through like the little test. He's watching all the Reborn and Simone family together, and he's like, okay, well, they're both stupid, because he gave them like a board to destroy within a certain amount of time, and they both destroy, I think, using their head or something. Yeah, Alba holds it up, and then Ryohei punches it. And he's like, that's pretty impressive, because for him to be able to hold it up for Ryu here to hit it's like kind of crazy, you know, something like that. It was something along those lines. But that's cool. Even I'll give him his credit for his power set. The fact that he has like the glasses where it's like super, it's like the Sharingan, or he can kind of see, like, I think they're called because they're called killer points, because pressure points are just like, I think just pressure, but killer points is like, you know, a lot of damage and shit. That was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. We'll give bro a little bit of cope. You know what I'm saying? We'll throw him in C. We got those some people in C. We'll put him in C. I'm quickly realizing that putting him in C is probably not the thing to do for sure. So we'll see how that goes. But next we have Lancia, and I think Lancia, I actually enjoyed his character. The only thing that takes away for him, for me, is we don't really see him again. Like after the initial arc, like the Mukuro arc, after that we really don't see bro do much after that. But and then also, even in the arc that he's in it for so short of a time. It's like he really in it for that, what, like 10 episodes? And he gives Suna a ring afterwards, but it's like that ring does save Suna's life. But after that, it's like, okay, he's just a cool mentor-ish person to Suna that Suna's not really meeting like that again. But Lancia, I do like the whole I'm fake Mukuro. That was cool. And then Suna discovering, it's like, oh shit, like Suna, this is when Suna's hyper intuition is really, you know, hitting maximum capacity before he gets his new form, Hyper Dying Will mode. Suna's way for knowing that he is not Mukuro is like, yeah, every time you threw the wrecking ball, you closed your eyes, like you couldn't see the bloodshed, which is like, the real Mukuro he's a you know, a sociopath, psychopath, and he just likes to see bloodshed. So that was cool. We'll put bro top of, I'll put him bottom of B, man. Let me yeah, because a lot of these villains, like, we don't see Genkishi. I mean, we see him again, but he's not really like that for real. So yeah, we'll do that. Luceria, he's just kind of there to me. He's just one of the Varia. You enjoy, like, you like to see them together, but you don't really, like, you wouldn't really care to see a scene with Luceria by himself. So I'm gonna put him below. Probably put, like, we'll put him like top of D. Put him top of D. Yeah, because a lot of these other people, we'll put him top of D. Yeah, we'll leave that as that is. Next is Viper, one of the actual Arco Baleno. So I'm saying Shadow Viper. That's kind of cool. I like Viper. Viper's cool. As a villain, there's not much. I don't think he does a lot. Like, he gets beat by Mukuro, and that's not too interesting. But his whole overall character is kind of fun. I do like what he ends up kind of doing with the Varia, well, not the Varia, but what he does afterwards and stuff like that. So it is just funny that they have an Arco Baleno. Like, the Arco Baleno is one of the best people ever, and he's just one of the Varia who's quite literally weaker than Xanxus and probably Squalo, which is just funny. So that's it's kind of funny. Yeah. So, and yeah, he's a pretty cool character, I think, overall. But there's not, I wouldn't say there's so much stuff about him, but I think as just him being a part of the Arco Baleno kind of thing, that does give him some cope. I can't lie to you, because all the Arco Baleno were really interesting in general, and especially even like the Inheritance arc, where essentially they all get to kind of get their full forms, or I guess not full forms, but they get to be in their real bodies again. That's kind of cool. And seeing Viper going against Fawn, I'm gonna give him his cope. Let me give him his C cope. I'll give him his C cope. Yeah, now Mukuro's tough. Mukuro's definitely, like, he's one of those S tier guys. That's one thing about Reborn, you gotta give it credit though. Like, all the main villains, I think they definitely live up to the hype in that sense. Yeah, Mukuro's he's a guy that he's a good contrast to Suna, because Suna is this nice, lighthearted person that actually cares about people, and Mukuro for the most part cares about very little people. I think even you can kind of say cares about Chrome, but that's really it. Now Mukuro's tough. Mukuro being in and out of the Vendice, that he basically is the person that brings that up, that starts it off. He basically is like a troubled kid with a troubled past, and he's just basically in and out of jail. So that's a cool, the mafia jail. So that's interesting. And then every time, like, I do like the thing where every time Mukuro's coming, Suna can kind of sense it now. That's cool. That happens throughout the entire series. But every time Mukuro comes, he changes shit up. Like Mukuro fighting when he fought Damon Spade, that was interesting. When he pulled up in the future arc for a little bit, he was kind of cool or whatever. At any given time, I'm liable to really drop you off, or like you can't really trust me. I'm gonna give bro his credit. He's S tier to me. Now Shit P, funny enough, is probably unironically like the best, in my opinion, like the best Simone character. Like I don't know if that's crazy. I just like the contrast. I know that I've been talking about how the Simone and Mongol are very similar and they're compared a lot, but I think this was the best compare and contrast between them. And I think that's a big thing that the Simone family get, like, because they're introducing this arc only. I mean, they're not introducing this arc only, but one thing that I think that they were introduced in this arc as most villains and characters are, just how it kind of is. They did a comparison and they did the whole thing about their pride. And the comparisons to the Vongola and the pride served to kind of introduce us to the characters way quicker, and we got to familiarize ourselves with them. So we knew like, okay, this is something they would do, this is something they wouldn't do, kind of thing, you know? And it was like, oh shit. Like the fact that we know Goku Dara, he's a big Suna stan, like that's his thing. Goku Dara as a character is someone that, if need be, he might throw his life away for Suna. Like that's just how he is as a guy. In that fight in the Varia, when Goku Dara is about to lose to Belphegor, and he's basically like, I'm not gonna leave until like I get the ring. Like Suna's like, yo, what are you doing? The whole point of us leaving, the whole point of us doing this mission is so we can all leave and laugh together. So that like, and then Goku Dara just like, all right, Goku Dara drops it, like he's like, let me go, let me get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So Goku Dara goes the push and the whims of Suna, and that's the opposite of Shit P. So having that comparison is interesting, and it even brings up a cool dynamic where Shit P's like, oh yeah, look at Suna's grades and all that shit. Like he takes peeks at girls' skirts, which, you know what I'm saying, that's insane. And Goku Dara's like, yeah, I don't give a damn about any of that. Like I knew all of this information. So I love that contrast, honestly. Shout out Shit P. You know what I'm saying? Very interesting character, but she's still. Yeah, she got a, man, I ain't glad she going up. Yeah, I don't care if this is a hot take, man. This is my video, so I'm gonna put her right here. And then we have Rezil, or Rezil, I think. He's cool. I only kind of put him there because I do like the whole thing with him and Xanxus, the whole scene they have before he gets defeated, where he's like, yeah, that's a cool scene. But and the fact that also, I think it's kind of cool that he was the twin brother that we hear about in the Varia arc, but where he said to kind of be dead in the present. Everyone thought he was dead. Even Belphegor was like, yeah, I thought he was dead. Come to find out he was actually alive through some unknown means. But yeah, that he kind of just a guy that get dropped off, unfortunately. But top of D. Then we have Squalo, and I think Squalo like that for real too. He kind of is one of the characters that kind of pushes Yamamoto to be serious as a fighter. He's like the first real fighter in this arc. You know, Yamamoto really wasn't in the first arc for real. He's a psychopath for sure. Like he literally cut off his arm to defeat the past leader, or to understand the person. That whole thing with the shark and stuff is kind of cool. So that's, you know, shark water. Yeah, I give him his credit. And then even after, I think after the Varia arc, funny enough, he becomes even more interesting, because in the future he actually serves as like Yamamoto's guide. Like Yamamoto's trying to get stronger, and he's like, yeah, future Squallow's like, all right, cool, like follow my teachings and stuff like that. We'll put him below. I like Enma's backstory, so we'll put him below that. The Vendice, we'll just throw them where Jagger is. All right, now we have Toriko Buto, and I don't think there's much to him, and I think he doesn't even really talk that much either. So it's like, okay, he rarely speaks. Yeah, I'm good off, bro. All right, Gamma's a good character, honestly. I think Gamma, I don't remember now if they said Gamma was the strongest. I'm pretty sure Genkichi was stronger, because Genkichi's a fake Funeral Wrath, so there's no way Gamma's strong. But I think that Gamma says he's stronger, and I do like the whole thing with Gamma kind of being Goku Dara, if you think about it. Again, I love the comparisons with the Vongola, because the Vongola are all very interesting, varied characters. So whenever you have a good comparison, I'm gonna give you credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nah. So Gamma is cool. I do like the whole thing with Gamma, just in general. And Gamma, he also had hands too. Like he dropped off a lot of people. He beat Future Ryohei, and he obviously beat Goku Dara the first time. Then Goku Dara had to come back, and they fought, and it was damn near to a standstill. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely giving Gamma his credit, and whatnot. Now, where to rank him? He does come back after the Future arc, so that's kind of cool. But obviously, we know his kind of role is diminished, but that's okay. I'm gonna put him in like C. Well, no, we'll put him in B. I think. Yeah, we'll put him in B for sure. But yeah, Zakuro, one of the Funeral Wraths, you know what I'm saying? He ruled over, you know, the parallels, but eventually he in this universe, he instead faced great misfortune like this. Yeah, it's bag work. You know what I'm saying? It's their bag work. So I did like his power, so we'll put him above Daisy. Now we got my boy Xanxus. I think, again, one of the characters that has Suna pissed off. I think he even had Reborn pissed off. And if you have Reborn as a character pissed off, I'm sorry, you're doing something right in terms of being a villain. Like, he literally had the whole ploy of basically blackmailing them into being like, oh yeah, the 9th, you just hurt him, like now you have to fight me or whatever. And he had the little twins, he had them basically in the palm of his hands. Very tough. Future Xanxus is even tougher for some reason, where he's like, yeah, you know, you're scum. but it's not like the Kakashi thing, but it's basically like whenever basically whenever someone attacks the Von Gogh from the outside, like the Varia, we will snuff them out. Like that's part of our job, and that's tough. I like that whole dynamic. That later on, it's like Suna can trust him. We can kind of see it. We see it like in the last arc. Obviously, Suna's like, yo, I need you guys to fight with me. I fought against every single one of y'all and dropped y'all all off. So I know that you guys are strong, and I know I can trust you as well because we've gone blow for blow, and I think that was cool. Xanxus is like not the first, but he's one of those guys where it's like, oh shit, whenever Suna really needs help, he gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not to help him, but he gonna be there at least. You know what I'm saying? So Xanxus he's definitely like that. Now, where am I putting him? I think he's going S, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I like Xanxus. I think that there's a lot of stuff, cool stuff, and even the stuff with the ninth, his backstory as well is interesting. Basically, him and his mom were poor, and the mom basically just pretended and lied to the ninth and was like, "Yo, I'm he's your illegitimate like son, and look at his flame." And we saw that he has the flames of wrath, which is cool, which is the sky and the storm flames, which is really cool. So it's like the destruction and the harmony. And Xanxus, because of that, he thinks he's the ninth son, so he's basically a dickhead. And they come to find out when he tries to get the Von Gola rings, they reject him because he's not true blood. Very tough. That was a cool thing. And he basically tried to run up on the ninth, and he got his shit smacked. You know what I'm saying? He got frozen. That's where he gets his scars from. But that is, Xanxus is like that. There's a lot to say about Xanxus, you know what I'm saying? Actually, let me know if you guys want individual videos about any of these guys. I think I might make some videos about some of these people, especially like dynamics and stuff. That could be really cool. I think you guys might like that, but you guys gotta definitely let me know down below. Definitely hit the like, subscribe. I'm saying, as I said before, this was actually a video. I created this tier list from scratch because I don't know why they hold Reborn, but there wasn't a Reborn tier list for villains. So, you know, your boy had to make one. So definitely hit that subscribe button, like, share, hit that bell notification. I'm out, so peace.